Hi there. Okay, hopefully everybody's doing good today. Today we're gonna be covering lesson 3 and lesson 4. Lesson 3 is gonna be form. Lesson 4 will be shape. We covered 1 and 2 last week, and 1 and 2 is line and color. If you haven't finished it, I'll give you time to work on that later. For now, let's take out your sketchbook and we're gonna put the date. Um, During the time when I recorded this, the date is July 5th, 2023. So it'll be a different date right now when you're working on. So I'm gonna start off with shape first. So shapes. We're gonna start off with shapes. So what is shape? Shape is an enclosure bound to two-dimensional form which have both length and width. So that's shape. Shape is just the enclosure parameters where um, there's a interior and there's an exterior. So that is shape. So what is the best shape? What is the best idea of shape that we all know? Anyone knows? If you figure that square is one of the popular one. Yes, you're correct. We also got triangle. That's also a shape. And we also got circle. That's also a shape. There's also all the other shapes too, but we're not going to get into it. We're going to get into these three shapes. These three shapes are the one that makes up every other shapes. So we're going to be following with this one. Also, there's one that's it's called organic shape. So it's just kind of like a blob. So that's an organic shape. It doesn't fall into any of these shapes. It's basically made up of all these other shapes without the differential, very identifiable corner and curves that we can identify. Okay, so those are shapes. So I want you to draw one, two, three, four shapes, and I want you to label them as such. So once we finish with that shape, I'm gonna give you guys this time to work on shapes. Okay, the next one we're gonna be working on is gonna be called form. It's gonna it's gonna be form. So form, what is form? Form have actually two definition. I have you wrote it, write it the other day, jot it down. Some of you actually I actually pop quiz some of you. If you give me either or definition, it's also fine with that. One of them is called the first definition of it is referring to the meaning of it is the overall form takes by the works. That's form. And the other one is by the artistic side. As artists, we use a lot. So it refers to the elements of shapes among the various elements that makes up a work. What does that mean? That means that we're going to basically all of these shapes right here creates a form. That's basically what it is. So one of the best idea for form falls into is when we everybody familiar with this one? No, that is not a circle. That is a sphere. So the reason why, because when we use line as such, we create, and then I add the shadow. I'm gonna add the shadow. Now it's no longer a circle; it is a form. But without the only tricky part about circles and sphere is that with that sphere without the shading and the value into it, um, uh, uh, complementing it, it's going to look identical to circle. So for form, that's kind of like a cheat where it could go either way, just for aesthetically, you can see it. They both look the same, but just put two circles. That's totally fine. That goes with form and shape on if you later in the future when you put it on the test. And then okay, the other one's going to be cube. Okay, so cube where when we work on cube, we gotta be extremely patient with cube. So here we go. This is a cube. It's not the perfect cube in the world, but it is a cube. So notice that it has, you don't see the other side. The other side is these are what we call planes. So the cube, they have one, two, three, and then there's three planes out here. And then on the other side, there's three more. So you're looking at 6 planes. So cube is made out of 6 planes together, welding it and creating a solid mass. So that's what it is. And this other one is called a it's called a cone. A lot of people don't like cones because it's very, very difficult to draw. So basically you could draw a line very, very lightly here, and then you're gonna draw an oval. You're gonna draw an oval, and you're gonna find the center line. You're gonna kind of dot it up. Remember when we mentioned about dotted line and tattered line, broken up line, where it creates that, it will create that the illusion of a line that's there, but it's not there at the same time. So all you have to do is just connect the corners here together, like so, and then you got yourself a cube. Not a cube, but a cone. So at the same time, you could erase it. There you go. I'm using my eraser to erase it. Once you erase it, there you go. And then you got yourself a cone. Then we're also going to be drawing cylinder. Cylinders is tricky as well too. A lot of people don't like cylinders. There's also perspective in cylinder, but we're not going to be working on perspective. So you're gonna exactly the same thing. You're gonna draw a oval. You're gonna find the center. You're just gonna slightly draw however high you want it to. The only thing about difference about this one and cones is that the cone, the 2 line from the edge up here, they meet up in the center. But this one, you're gonna have to draw another one. But before we draw that, we're gonna draw the line very lightly, just 2 lines parallel to each other, and then you're gonna draw the exact same thing up here. Just make sure you meet up the line right up here. Like I said before, it's all about perspective. So if you want this line, if you want the if you want to see the bottom part of the cylinder, all you have to do is just erase the top. That will make sense out of it. But for now, I just want to see the top down. So seeing from top down, I'm going to erase. This is the only time when you get to use the eraser. That allows you everyone to use the eraser. So because we want to make it kind of picture perfect, but it's not gonna be perfect. So there you go. So you got yourself a cone, not a cone, but a cylinder looking from top down. So we're gonna cover very, very quick about value here. We're gonna be covering a little bit about value. This right here is actually value. I just created a little value right there to just demonstrate to you. So for example, value has to do with shadows, lots of shadows. So imagine my imaginary happy sun right here, right? So it's emanating radiation, light out, okay? This is just called natural sun, natural light. So if it goes this way, right, they're all hitting, it's going to be casting a shadow. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to be drawing a, whatever the light source is. Like for example, you're going to be drawing right over here and here. You're going to be drawing very lightly. It will have a relationship to it. So what you're going to do, you can make the shadow as long as you want or as thin as you want. So for now, we're going to make it very thin right here. And then over here, we're just going to meet right here. Basically, you're just going to mirror what you draw. So here's a little convex over here. It's the same thing. So we're just going to connect. So we're going to use our line scales. And we're just going to draw we're just going to be drawing a bunch of lines in it, creating this beautiful, strong, very strong shadow. So that is value. And then at the same time right here, notice that this is the center here. We're gonna shade it in right here, like so. As well, this one right here, just gonna be, this is where the shadow is gonna be, right here. And then we could hatch it outward. There you go, hatch. We're gonna create hash. Same thing right here. Cube is a lot easier because cube is very, very blocky. So this right here is facing away from the sun. So the sun's, there's no exposure of light. So you can make it pure. So there you go. We got form right there. Form requires a lot of value involved in form. The value system is very, very simple. We're gonna be creating a scale like so. And the darkest dark is gonna be over here. So this is gonna be dark. Gonna be light over here. So for the light, you don't even touch it. You don't even use your graphite or marker to touch it at all. So basically, you're gonna be the darkest darkest over here, like so. As you get closer, you notice I'm just using hash now. Notice that they're very close to each other, very close to each other. As I get closer to the light source, I spread them out. And then to the point when I get to that point over here, right here, I don't even touch it at all. There's no line there. So over here, I could clean this up, make sure it's all solid right here. There you go, pitch. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to create this. Remember, this is lesson number 4 right here. And this is lesson number 5. Kind of do it I kind of flip it right here, vice versa, because I want to show you the shape first before the form, because if I show you the form first and then we show you the shapes, you're going to be confused. And then this is the last one right here. It is lesson 6 right here. Okay. So this is the lesson for today. Take this time to work on it the best you can, and I'll see you guys when I get back.